What's up everybody, welcome to Sway Vlogs. My name is Josue, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I make videos every single day of the life here in Spain. I'm originally from the United States. Now I'm living here in Spain, so I'm making videos of just daily adventures, just tips and tricks and hacks of what to do, where to go, and how the life is here in Spain compared to the US. Now with that being said, let's get into today's topic. You read the title states, how to get a job in Spain. So today I'm going to talk about a couple important tips and tricks on if you're planning to move to Spain to seek a better future, whether it is from the US to here or wherever you're coming from and you want to live in Spain. I'm going to show you just a couple of tips on how to get a job, where to get a job, and what you need in order for you to have a job here in Spain. Now, let's get into it real quick. Obviously, if you come to Spain, you gotta know some Spanish, my man.
Me llamo Kevin tú. ¿Dónde estaba? ¿Cómo se dice?
And if you're coming here with nothing, not a single lick of Spanish, you're gonna have a hard time finding a job. Even if you know perfect English and you're trying to go to a company that is asking for a person with English, you still need some sort of Spanish to get along. So that kind of, that's tip number one, I guess. The other tip is when you come and you're looking for a job in some other country, for example, in the US, you can go to a company and leave a resume, and then maybe they'll look at it and they'll call you for an interview. And other times you can go into their website and go into their career section and then fill out an application online, and then again, they'll call you. Here in Spain, it's completely different. Some companies do offer their own career online guidance where you can go and apply, but other companies just go straight off an app called InfoJobs, and I'm gonna show you in just a second. This job here in Spain, I found out after 6 or 8 months of work looking for a job and knocking on doors and literally nobody giving me a job. Somebody told me here, just go into this app called InfoJobs. I'm gonna show you guys real quick here on the screen. So this little app gives you basically different companies put up their jobs up there, and you go over there and you click on it, and then you obviously apply, and then they'll give you a call. It's like a little questionnaire that ask you a couple of things, and then they'll call you, and you have to put your resume online and ask them some questions, etc, etc. Now with that being said, after that process goes, you have to apply in so many. I mean, you have to just not apply at one and be like, oh, I'm gonna wait for them to call me. No, you have to be constantly applying at all these other ones, because you'll never know who's gonna call you or if they're ever going to call you. Now, with that being said, after you get into the position you like or the job that you like, you apply for it, they're gonna call you for an interview. And here it gets interesting. When they call you for an interview, they're gonna ask you a lot of questions. Some of the questions are, for example, do you have the certification or the degree to work in the position that you're applying? If you say no, 100% probability you're not gonna get that job. Just straight up. When I came from the US to Spain, I was working at a bank in the US, and so when I came here to Spain, the first thing I wanted to do was, go into and apply at a bank. So I went into a bank one time and I asked the teller, hey, how can I get a job here in Spain? Or, how can I get a job here in the bank? And literally she just looked at me, and I could tell on her face she wanted to laugh in my face. Like, haha, you serious? She looks at me and she goes, do you have a certification to work in the bank? Like an actual degree in banking? And I'm like, no, I just have my certification from Wells Fargo and US Bank and Chase, where I used to work. Oh no, here you need some sort of certification or some sort of degree stating that you are authorized to work in the banking industry. And I'm like, what?
Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
Oh dear Lord. Hold everything. What? And it just brought me to my attention, that is why the US is considered the land of opportunity and the best country in the world. In my opinion, if you don't like that, deal with it. But in my opinion, it's the best country. Now with that being said, you're probably thinking, go back to America. No, look at my lifestyle video and you'll see why I'm still here. Now, with that being said, in the US, I've held a lot of jobs since I was 18 years old. I worked in McDonald's, I worked in sales, I worked in door-to-door sales, I worked landscaping, I did all kinds of jobs. And the great thing is that every company that I went to, they always gave me training on what I was going to do. When I went to US Bank, I remember before I went to US Bank, I was working in a woodshop place, and I got out of the woodshop and they called me and said, we want to give you an interview. So they gave me an interview, and obviously they asked me these questions. I got the okay, and I got the job. I didn't know nothing about banking, but the best thing about US Bank is that they gave me the training so I can go into the banking industry. Then I went to Wells Fargo, same thing with Wells Fargo, they gave me training. Went to Chase, same thing with Chase, they gave me more training. And it was just like, they give you training on whatever they're gonna hire you in, right? I mean, that's what I always had in the US. Not here in Spain. Here in Spain is, if you go into something, some companies give you training, other companies just expect you to know what you're being hired for. Because, you know, you apply for that, you obviously know what you're doing. So when I started working for that company for Microsoft, they gave me the job because, you know, I knew English and I had customer service skills, and I knew like the basics of Office 365 and whatnot. So then they gave me a 2-week training period, which was the worst training period in my entire life. It was one of the worst companies I've ever worked for in my entire life, but I'm not gonna get into that. We're talking about how you can get a job in Spain. Now, this is the other important thing about getting a job in Spain. Spain is not like other countries, or well, I don't know if they're like other countries, but they're not like the US, because I'm talking about comparing it with the US. In the US, there's 3 different types or more of positions, or like, you know, a time that you can work for the company. For example, you can work part-time, you can work full-time, or you can work seasonal. Like, for example, I worked at Macy's seasonal time during the Christmas break, whatever, and I worked during Christmas, and then after Christmas, they were like, okay, thank you, and bye-bye. And then I worked part-time when I used to work at McDonald's overnight, and I did that for quite some time. And then I started working full-time, obviously in the bank, you know, from 9 to 5, etc. Once you get a 9 to 5 job, or you get a full-time job, you're set, you know, in the US. And the only way you can lose that job is if you get fired or if you quit. Here in Spain, this is the tricky part, and this is what I want you to pay attention. Here in Spain, there's no such thing as part-time, full-time, or whatever. Here in Spain, they give you what's called a contrato laboral, or a work contract, stating that you can only work for this certain amount of time that they make you sign for. For example, in that company that I worked for, I worked for 2 months. And that's it. After those 2 months, they were like, we're gonna go review your performance and whatnot. We're gonna give you another 2 months contract. And they did, they gave me another 2 months contract. And then after that, we're like, we're gonna test you this other 2 months to see what happens, and then we're gonna let you know. And then after those 2 months, I was like, I'm out of here, dude, I'm done. Like, this company is not worth it. And then after that, I started working this job that I have right now. But the cool thing about the job that I'm working at right now, as soon as I came in, the lady was like, we're gonna give you a contrato indefinido, which means a full-time job. Now keep that in mind, because sometimes you will have companies that give you contracts like that. They give you a 2-month contract, 3-month contract, 4-month contract, 6-month, a year contract. And after that year is over, they have to review whatever you did, and maybe they'll extend you to an indefinite contract, which is you've made it. If you have a contrato indefinido, fireworks, and you celebrate and pop a bottle of champagne because you've made it. You have reached the top. You actually have a full-time job that the only way you can lose it now is getting fired or quitting from it. There you have it. That's kind of a bad thing, because then you are kind of like dangling if you're gonna stay with the company or you're not gonna stay with the company. Am I gonna be here full-time? Am I not gonna be here full-time? And it causes some issues. Now, with that being said, is it hard to get a job here in Spain? Yes. Yes, it is. It is extremely hard to get a job? No, it's not. It's not extremely hard. Once you find a job and you do good in that job, you're gonna stay in that job. Now, with that being said, unlike the US, when I worked in the US, you can move up in ranks, I guess you can call it, in the company. For example, if I started going to, for example, in the bank, I started working as a teller, then I moved up as a banker / teller, and then after that, I moved up to like managerial almost, you know, duties and stuff. So you go up. I mean, the company sees that you're doing really good, and they see that, you know, you're trying your best and your hardest. So they're gonna move you up in ranks and maybe even give you a raise or whatnot. Do not, by all means, expect that to happen here in Spain, because it will not happen. There's people that I've met here that work in the same company that I was working in. Let me move this camera over here. This company that I was working in, and they proudly tell me, oh, I've been working in the same position for the last 17 years. I'm like, my man, you've been in the same place for the last 17 years. Do you not get bored of doing the same thing for the last 17 years? Where is your mind at? Where is your sense of like, you know, improvement, of making yourself better and growing? That doesn't happen in Spain. I was talking to one of my coworkers and I told her about that. She goes, yeah, people here in Spain are just, you know, settle with what they have, because, you know, it's a job, it pays the bills, and it feeds your family. And And I'm like, that's cool, but wouldn't it be awesome to keep moving up and, you know, get more money and stuff? And she goes, look, young man, the only way you can get a higher position in the company, whichever company you're working in, not specifically the one I'm talking about right now in the English school, but any company you're working for, you have to be somebody known to the family that owns the company, or somebody that, you know, went to some high-end university and got some really fancy, like, you know, diploma, and now you can get that position. Other than that, you're gonna be stuck in that same spot for the rest of the time you work there. And I was just like, what? That's insane. That's why this year I am looking forward to getting my own company, to getting my own business, and to doing my own thing, because I do like working at the job I'm at right now, but I have that Yankee mentality, I guess, that American mentality of just not staying in one place, but moving and improving and getting better and just doing more, you know. And that's why I repeat myself, that's why America is the land of opportunity, and it will always be any other company, or I mean any other company, any other country, not company, I just got stuck with that. So you guys, that's how you get a job here in Spain. I hope this video was helpful in any way, shape, or form that you guys found it. And if you found it helpful and you thought, yeah, I mean, that's cool. Again, this is my personal intake because I've been here for 2 years now and I've experienced this. Now, if you've had different experiences, if you're watching me and you live here in Spain, go ahead and leave me a comment. What were your experiences on how you found a job, or if you had a job already coming from another place and then you lost it and you had to look for another job, etc., etc. I'm not gonna get into that. You guys, I'm gonna be making a video every single day here on this channel, so don't forget to subscribe, karate kick that bell, leave me in the comments what's up. And don't forget that every single day, for as long as I can, I'll be giving you guys a new video. And I'm gonna try my hardest to make it a video about Spain and about the lifestyle here in Spain. And I hope today's video was actually helpful for you guys. And if you're planning to move to Spain, really think about it. I'm gonna talk in another video about what you need to know before moving to Spain and what things you need to bring and you must bring before moving to Spain. And also, if you're just planning to visit Spain, you're gonna have fun, and I'm gonna show you some places that's not Madrid, it's not Barcelona, it's not Ibiza and all those other places. I'm gonna show you some other places you can try out and visit and actually enjoy the culture in Spain. You guys, enough, I'm ranting, I'm just blabbing over here. You guys, have a good night, good morning, whatever. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.